Hello, everyone. I would like to start this international webinar. The special code that is success usually come to those who are too busy to be looking for it. I do repeat, success usually come to those who are too busy to be looking for it. So, starting a new chapter, I, Abhishek Kumar, being your host of the event, want to extend a very warm welcome and very good evening to all of you present here. And I hope you all are doing amazing. So, on the behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for this international webinar on the topic reverse motor gaze. And to add our guest of honor and our speaker, Dr. Kapil Gupta, sir. Sir, it's a great honor to have you with us, and we are very much thankful for your presence. And
Thank you,
as I
Abhishek.
can see, a quite number of people are joining us. So, before I proceed, let me take a brief moment for the introduction of my organization, SEMS. SEMS Welfare Foundation is the non-profit entity established to work in the areas of education, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development, entrepreneurship, livelihood generation, employability, health, research, culture, international cooperation, sports, environment protection, and with the similar sector. We also promote healthy life, a balanced life, and a strong business. Now, let me introduce our speaker to you, Dr. Kapil Gupta, sir. He is currently working as an assistant professor at the Department of Management and Hospitality at IK Gujarat, Punjab Technical University, main campus. He has a lot of teaching and research experience for more than 15 years. He has also secured his PhD degree from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Apart from that, in the April 2010, he was selected as the foreign deputation to Australia for teaching the various courses regarding the security and and lots more to the third semester of student of IBS Australia and lots more.
Thank you, Abhishek. At the outset, I would like to thank the SEMS Welfare Foundation for having me and giving me the opportunity to interact with the participants and share my views and opinion about today's topic, that is reverse mortgage. This concept is quite popular in Western countries, in developed countries, but this concept is very novel, new in India. Although academically and practically the concept is not new, but there is lesser awareness about this concept in the country. And once I shall discuss this concept and the genesis of this concept, I hope you all will agree with me. The concept, the product is very important and very it has lot of value in our society, but somehow due to certain lacunas as far as the policy framework and our social setup is concerned, that's why this product has not taken off. Before I introduce this topic, I would like to share uh, the brief genesis of this concept. Recently, Department of Economic and Social Affairs of United Nations, they have published one report. The title of the report is "Leaving No One Behind in an Aging World." And every now and then, we listen to the statements from academicians, from politicians, from policymakers that we Indians have the advantage of becoming one of the youngest country of the world. Definitely, this is our advantage. But this report talks about the direction in which the global economy is moving over the period. Global economy and society is growing as aged economy. By 2021, we had around 761 million people who are 65 years old or over. But it is expected by 2050 that this number will be more than double, and we will have around 1.6 billion people who will fall in this age bracket. And the population of people who are 80 years old or more, that population is growing even much faster. And this trend is irreversible. The trend of growing economies, societies, with the aged people. For example, have a look at the population profile of countries like Japan. The major cause of worry for Japan is they have lesser number of young people who can contribute to the economy. And this picture shows in 2021 we had 1 in every 10 people who were 65 years or above, and by 2050 we expect that there will be 1 person out of 6 who will be 65 years or more. And this table shows this table presents the picture of Asia Pacific region. The population in the countries, the countries which account for highest number of people in the age bracket of 60 and above. Since China and India are one of the countries where majority of the population of the world resides. But obvious, both these countries are ranked on the top. And have a look at India. In 1950, we had 19.1 million people who were 60 years or above. And by 2022, we had 149 million people who were 60 years and above. And by 2050, this number will be more than double. And as far as India is concerned, per se, the growth rate of population is declining. When I say growth rate of the population is declining, it implies the proportion of the younger people, the younger load is declining, and even the Indian economy is growing as an over the period we will be having more chunk of aged people. Here in 2021, this is a report by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, which was published in July 2020. The proportion here in this pyramid, you can see the people who are plotted in the bracket of 60 years or above. And in 2031, it is expected that this bracket is going to widen, and by 2036, it will further widen. And have a look at the bottom of this pyramid. This pyramid, the bottom is narrowing down. Besides this, the proportion of population who are in the age bracket of 0 to 14 years, this proportion is declining over the period as far as India is concerned. And in proportion of the population in the age bracket of 60 plus, that is increasing over the period. And dependency ratio is, if we consider that the people in the age bracket of 15 to 59 years, they are the productive population, and the people who are below the age of 15 and above the age of 60, they are considered to be dependent, and their proportion is increasing. Hereby, it has been noticed, and the projected numbers are the population of the younger people is declining because the growth rate of the population is declining, but the population of the aged people is rising. Okay, and why this is happening? This is happening thanks to improvement in the literacy rate, and thanks to development of the economy, development of the society. People are more aware, people are planning nowadays. And besides this, one of the output of the development of the economy is life expectancy in India is also increasing. This chart it shows this is also from one of the publication by United Nations, which was published in the year 2022. We can see consistently the life expectancy in India is rising, and presently we have around 72 73 years average life expectancy, and it is expected this will go beyond 85. Means aged people are going to live for more years, and when people in the age bracket of 60 or more, they are going to live longer, they require more economic resources. As far as the economic prosperity in the country is concerned, we all are aware of. And as far as the economic resources people are left with once they retire, we are also aware. That's why economic insecurity is one of the rising concern in an economy like India. And as per the World Social Protection Database of International Labour Organization, it is documented that around 24% of total population in India has some kind of social protection or social security. Rest 76% do not have access to social security. So that's why this product which I am discussing about, which I am going to talk about, that has lot of importance in our society. And this is one of the graph which is which presents very interesting fact that people who are aged 65 or above and they are living alone in India. Highest number of people living alone are resides in Russian Federation, and hereby the dark bar represents females living alone, and gray bar, light gray bar, that represents males living alone, and hereby we have the picture of India. Around 10% of the total population, among us which approximately 7% females and 3% males are living alone. When I say living alone, means people who are not living with the family. That may be in any form. Maybe the kids have migrated. Maybe the parents are living in one region, and the kids, they are working somewhere else, or family separation in the families. That is also one of the reality. And hereby we need to ask one question: do our parents who are aged, do they have enough economic financial resources to survive on their own during their old age? And most of you will agree with me, the kind of society we live in, most of us belong to middle class. You will agree with me that once people retire, they spend most of their corpus on the settlement of their kids, and finally they are left with very meager amount of corpus to survive. So the product I am going to discuss is one of the financial instrument that is going to help the old age people during their later life, which I call the second inning. And people who have worked throughout their life, they do not like to ask for financial help. It is considered below dignity, and they want to and also they deserve a dignified life. Hereby, this is the picture of Mr. Singhania, who was promoter of Raymond Group. Once he handed over his empire to his son, Gautam Singhania, then he was not getting enough financial support from his son to maintain himself. He had to contest a case, litigation, in the House of Court, and from court, he got some sort of relief. Another example I can give, This is a picture of one of the founder of one of the biggest business house in Punjab, that is Khanna Paper Mill in Amritsar, who are one of the largest exporter of paper from India. Their case is also similar to Mr. Singhania. Once they handed over the charge of their company to their kids threw them away, and they were not left with sufficient amount of resources to survive, to sustain. Therefore, hereby I have discussed the case of two families who had access to sufficient ample amount of resources at one point of time, and if they were not able to sustain and survive, how aged people from middle class family can sustain and survive? That's why this product is very important. And another scenario that is upcoming in India, that is of old age homes. Old age homes that are also called second inning homes. People who are busy in their life, especially the younger people, they are disowning their parents, maybe because of any reason. And parents, they are admitted into the old age homes, and they are left at someone at strangers' mercy to survive. And especially as far as the middle class is concerned, every family makes sure that during their life they make one house for themselves. And people have a dream that the house they build should be transmitted to their next generation. The product I am going to discuss, the features I am going to discuss, that says that particular house you can use as your financial security during your old age. And hereby I am presenting the data by from one of the report by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, which presents the data of a number of senior citizens homes or old age homes in the country. And this is the state-wise breakup. In India, by the end of 2021, we had 551 old age homes, and this is the data of only registered old age homes, please remember, whereas the actual number will be far more. So that's why there is a dire need for making people aware about this product, so that people can old age people can live their second inning in a dignified manner. The product I am going to discuss is reverse mortgage. Reverse mortgage is, as the name suggests, it is reverse of original mortgage. For example, if I want to buy a house and I do not have enough funds available, I can approach any financial institution, and I can ask them for lending me money against my house. What they will do, they will mortgage my house, the papers of my house, and they will give me money with the help of which I can buy the house, and I can start living in that house. I am the beneficiary of that house, and every month I have to make payments to the bank against the loan that I have taken. Reverse mortgage is opposite of that. I am already owning one house. I am mortgaging that. Sorry, I am mortgaging that house to my bank and asking the bank to make payment on monthly or quarterly or biannual basis, whatsoever terms we decide. Bank will make periodic payments to the borrower, and the borrower can stay in the house for their life. The terms and conditions of the reverse mortgage loan can be mutually decided, whereas there are certain standard guidelines given by RBI and National Housing Bank, which every bank has to abide. And as far as this loan, this particular product is concerned, there is a provision that if the borrower want a lump sum payment can also be made if there is some medical emergency in the family, and we know that the medical treatment is quite costly. So sometimes lump sum payments are also required. So banks can enter into such kind of agreement. So depending upon the requirements of the borrower, depending upon the profile of the bank, they can mutually agree upon the terms and conditions of the contract, and the maximum loan period will be 20 years. And one of the special feature of this particular loan is that the borrower can stay in the same house. He or she doesn't have to leave the house until they have last breath. No one can throw them away, not even the bank. They can live in the house. They need not to repay the loan during their lifetime. These are some of the primary features of reverse mortgage. And as far as the eligibility of any borrower is concerned, the borrower has to be 60 years or above. And there is a rider that if the property is jointly owned by the couple, then other spouse should be at least 58 years old. There has to be clear title of the property. There should not be any kind of dispute as far as the property is concerned. If someone has already taken the loan against that property, that loan either has to be settled, or the EMI of that loan shall be adjusted out of the payments for the against the reverse mortgage loan, and the amount of loan that will depend upon the age of the borrower, value of the property, the interest rates at that point, at the point of time. Moreover, in this case, it is very interesting to note, if someone is 60 years old, the tenure of the loan shall be up to when he or she shall achieve the age of 80. Whereas once, and in this case, the bank would grant lesser amount of loan. Whereas if the age is higher, the amount of loan shall keep on increasing, because the risk for the bank shall start declining. Risk for the bank that will start declining. So the amount of loan, when the person when the borrower is in the higher age bracket, the amount of loan will be higher. But as far as India is concerned, most of the banks, they have capped the amount of monthly payment to 50,000 rupees. Accordingly, the amount of loan shall be decided. And valuation of the property, that is done by registered valuers as per the norms of the bank. This loan can also be taken in the name of a married couple. They shall be considered as joint borrowers. And if, let's say, Mr. X has taken the loan, and his wife, she is there, and after some years, if the husband doesn't survive, if wife is alive, bank shall keep making the payment to the wife until the tenure of the loan is over, and there is no clause of repayment of this loan. The recovery of the loan by the bank shall be through the sale of the property. Once the tenure of the loan is over, or both the borrowers, they do not survive, or they leave the house, or government has abandoned that house. There is another clause: if the legal heirs want to gain the possession of the house, they can, but the condition is they have to repay the loan. Therefore, every now and then we come across the incidents that the kids, they are disowning, they are maltreating their parents. Such problems can be resolved, taken care of with the help of this type of product. And as I have already discussed, the maximum period of loan shall be 20 years, 20 years from the age of 60. And there are certain cases I shall be discussing in a while. The loan can be foreclosed also if there is violation in the terms and conditions of the loan. Okay. Here is a process for reverse mortgage. How does it work? With the help of one example, I would explain. Let's say Ramesh want to take mortgage loan and his property is worth 1 crore. Then there are two conditions: whether Ramesh is a senior citizen. If the answer is yes, he can get loan. Second condition is the house property he want to mortgage must be in his own name. If the answer is yes, yes, he is eligible for the reverse mortgage loan. If both the conditions are no, if the answer to both the conditions is no, then he is not eligible for reverse mortgage loan. And banks will decide. Hereby I have taken the example because banks keep margin of safety. So hereby I have taken the example 60% of the value of the house. That will be treated as a amount of loan, and that will be split using the time value of money. That will be split into periodic payments, which can be monthly or quarterly or biannual. Then banks once the terms and conditions have been decided mutually, and the sorry and the bank has entered into the contract with the borrower, then monthly payment or periodic payments they begin. Then whether the borrower or spouse die or they survive, these payments shall continue until both survive or the loan tenure is not yet over. Then once if the borrower if the loan tenure is not over, then the periodic payment shall continue. If the loan tenure is over or the spouse or the borrower die, the process of loan recovery shall begin. There, as I have discussed, there are two clauses for recovery of the loan. One is by selling the property. Second is bank may ask the legal heirs to pay off the loan. By either of the mode, the loan can be recovered. But this process shall not begin until borrower and the spouse are living in the house. Therefore, that's why I use the word dignified second inning. No one can throw them away from their house because they have emotional attachment with the house. So the either of these two modes can be exercised, and eventually bank shall recover their loaned amount. The next slide presents the salient features of the reverse mortgage loan. Reverse mortgage loan entitles the aged people for periodic payments. They can receive periodical payments regularly. There is no need to service the loan, repayment of loan during the lifetime of the borrower or the spouse. Whereas, as far as the maintenance of the property is concerned, any kind of property taxes, municipal taxes are concerned, they have to be paid by the borrower. The property has to be insured. Without insurance, bank is not going to lend the money. And the terms and the terms of the contract, both they have to mutually agree upon, and these clauses, these terms cannot be changed later on. Maximum period of loan, I have already discussed, that can be for 20 years. And the money that is disbursed by the bank can be used only by the senior citizen. They can definitely give that money to their kids, but bank will only disburse those funds to senior citizens. And it is up to the bank how frequently they want to revalue the property. Normally, in every 3 to 5 years, banks would like to revalue the property. Another feature is the borrower, they get they get they get exclusive right to use the property, just like as they were using the property before they had gone for reverse mortgage loan. Banks can inspect the property anytime. This clause is very important. No negative equity clause. It means that can exceed the value of the property. At no point of time, the amount of loan shall exceed the value of the property. Therefore, as I had taken the example, 60% of the value of the property. So banks keep higher margin of safety just to avoid any adverse fluctuations in the value of the property. Banks make sure that the borrower makes a will, borrower declares his or her will. Third, banks may ask the borrower to submit an affidavit that once the will is registered, the borrower is not going to change the clauses of the will without the prior permission or the knowledge of the bank. And last, very interesting and very important, the periodic payments received by the borrower from the bank, since that is not income, therefore no income tax is levied. At the end of the tenure of the loan, let's say bank is able to sell the property for 2 crore and the loan amount bank has to recover is 1.5 crores. Balance amount shall be handed over to the legal heirs and no capital gain tax is levied on the balance amount. So these are the prime features of reverse mortgage loan. There is a rider as far as the end use of the loan is concerned. The amount of loan can be used, the amount of periodic payments by the bank can be used for renovating, upgrading the house with the prior permission of the bank, but no part of those funds can be used for speculative trading or business purposes or any other illegitimate activities. Once bank finds that the borrower is indulging into these activities, such activities, the bank can compel the borrower to foreclose the loan or they can expel the borrower also because there will be violation in the terms and conditions of the contract. As far as the periodic payments are concerned, they will be disbursed to the borrower directly, except borrower requests the bank to directly make payment to the contractor for any kind of repair and maintenance of the property. Upon signing the contract, there can be a clause that borrower doesn't want to get the property insured. He can ask the bank to buy the insurance of the property and bank will deduct the amount of insurance premium out of the periodic payments to the borrower. Okay, so these terms can be mutually decided. As far as the loan settlement is concerned, I have already discussed that loan can be settled in through two modes. One is that banks sell the property and use the proceeds for settlement of the loan. Second, bank can ask the legal heirs to repay the loan and the legal heirs can take possession of the house once the loan is settled. For bank, the foremost priority is loan should be settled through either of the mode. But bank will first give option to the legal heirs. If they want possession of the house, then they can pay off the loan. As I have discussed earlier, these are the 8 cases in which the bank can compel the borrower for foreclosure. Foreclosure is settling down the loan before the tenure of the loan is over. These 8 cases can be if the borrower decides to stay out of the house for and he doesn't want to stay in the same house, because reverse mortgage loan is available only against the self-occupied house. If the borrower doesn't want to live in the same house, so he has to repay the loan. Second, if the borrower does not pay the statutory payments, he or she is unable to maintain the property. He or she is fails to get buy the insurance for the property, that is again violation of the clauses of the contract. Another clause can be if the borrower at any point of time is declared bankrupt, and once somebody is declared bankrupt, the property is being seized. Since in this case the first lien lies with the bank, therefore bank can compel the borrower to foreclose the loan. Another clause can be the if the borrower decides to donate the property to any trust, or if the property is abandoned by the borrower. Another can be fifth one is change in the property affecting the security of the loan. Maybe property is not maintained property is not maintained properly, and property is not property won't be able to sustain in future, so bank can ask for the foreclosure. If there is any allegation of fraud or misrepresentation on the part of the borrower. And last two clauses are with respect to the government. Seventh one is if the government at any point of time wishes to acquire the property for different uses, government takes over the land in different areas. And last one is if government condemns a particular residential property. In these 8 cases, the bank shall compel the borrower for foreclosure of the loan. As far in the beginning, I said I had asked the question people who are aware of this financial instrument. As expected, the response was very negligible number of people are aware. This is the reality. In our society, there is lack of awareness as far as reverse mortgage is concerned. One of the primary reason is borrowers, they are emotionally attached with their house. They are emotionally attached with their families. So they do not want to lose control. And one of the objective of every household is my property should be passed on to the next generation. So I cannot enter into the contract that my property after my death, my property shall be taken over by somebody, some other third party, that is bank. So there is a hesitation as far as people in India are concerned. Another economic reason is reverse mortgage loans are quite expensive. Lot many conditions, as I have discussed, they have to be met by the borrower. And if housing loan is available, let's say at 8%, the reverse mortgage loan will be available somewhere at 8.5 or 9%. Always the rate of interest on reverse mortgage loan is higher because the chances of dispute and recovery is delayed. Then the senior citizens, they find the process of applying for reverse mortgage loan, they find it complicated, tedious, and some of the clauses they find difficult to understand. That's why there is hesitation as far as the senior citizens are concerned. Moreover, the monthly payouts are fixed and there is no way to increase the amount in case of emergency. Although there is a clause for medical emergency or for major repair and maintenance of the house, you can request the bank and they can make some lump sum payment. But sometimes we have the emergencies and we do not have the time to apply. Therefore, people are hesitant that in such circumstances, maybe this product can fail. And children who expect to inherit the property, they consider reverse mortgage loan as a liability. Therefore, they discourage their parents to go for it. Moreover, parents are also hesitant, as I have discussed few of the reasons. And biggest challenge is lack of information about the product, and people who have availed this facility, their experience, their testimonials, their reviews are not available in the public domain. This is one of the policy lacuna on the part of the banks as well as RBI. They need to work on it They need to spread awareness about this product, so that one of the social problem which is emerging in the form of old age homes, that problem can be eradicated. And there are studies which suggest people living in the old age homes, they had once upon time, they had their own house, but they were forced to live in old age home. They were expelled from their own house, and they could not exercise this option of staying back in their house, their prized possession, that is their home. Okay, and I shall end my presentation through this chart. When I say there is lesser penetration of the product of reverse mortgage loan, one of the reason is this chart presents the academic research that is published in Scopus Index journals. Although in developed markets, the product was launched in early 80s. In India, it was launched in 2007. But academicians are not showing interest because, and moreover, as far as the trends and statistics of reverse mortgage loan given by Indian banks, that is the data is also not available. That's why there is lesser interest among the academicians, and lesser research is going on. And hereby you can find since 2015 this trend is rising. The publications are rising, academicians are gaining interest in this domain, and hopefully we will see in coming 5 to 10 years, lot of research is being published, and the policy framework shall be refined, reformed, and we will see there will be vast penetration as far as the awareness about reverse mortgage loan is concerned in the society, for the betterment and dignified living of older people, who are the senior intellectual capital of any society, be it India or be it any country, any other country. With this, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session, and I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. And sir, there are a few questions which our audience want to know, sir. So, with your permission, shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, what are the repayment options for this reverse mortgage?
As far as the repayment is concerned, I have mentioned that there are two modes. One is once the couple they are no more, the bank can exercise the option of selling the property, and banks can recover the amount of loan. Second option is bank can give option to the legal heirs if they would like to repay the loan on the behalf of their parents. Then legal heirs can take possession of the house. In both, in either of the way, bank shall recover its loan. But as far as the borrower is concerned, borrower need not to make make payment of even a single penny during his or her lifetime, except in the case where the foreclosure of the loan is required. I have discussed the 8 clauses.
The second question which our audience want to know that yeah, the number of risks associated with this reverse mortgage.
Number of risk means,
Like you can say, you can explain the risk which are associated in this
risk from the viewpoint of
mortgage.
uh, risk from the viewpoint of
The question is there any risk associated with this reverse mortgage?
as far as the borrower is concerned, for them only risk I see, which I have also mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation, that is in case of emergency, if they need some lump sum payment immediately, that is one of the risks. Otherwise, majority of the risk is borne by the bank himself, because bank is making monthly payments, and bank don't know when they will be able to recover the loan. So majority of the risk is borne by the bank, not by the borrower.
There is any difference between reverse mortgage and home equity loan?
In US, they call it home equity loan. And in India, we are calling it a reverse mortgage, but they are one and same. Globally, we use the term reverse mortgage. In the US, they have given it a name home equity loan.
Last question which our audience want to know, can we get a tax benefit from this reverse mortgage?
Yes, as I have mentioned, as far as the periodic payments by the bank are concerned, no income tax is levied on those payments because that is not considered as income on the in the hands of the borrower. Moreover, at the time of the settlement of the loan by sale of the property, the if there is any surplus left that is handed over to the legal heirs, no tax is levied.
Yes, sir. And I hope our audience get all the questions and their doubt from these sessions. And I guess, yeah. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. Thank you, guys, for opening your camera. And I must say that thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. And it was really very nice to have you with us. And we have learned a lot of things from this session.
Thank you
And
for having
guys,
me.
if you're having any question with us, then you can contact us by email or by the telephone, and we are happy to give you support.